Recording in progress.
Coming up on Zoom. But if they're coming up on Zoom, or they got a different way of looking at it?
They can dial into Zoom, so they can hear y'all, but they won't be able to see you on Zoom. I don't think.
Can they not see us on YouTube?
All right, let's see. All right, we've got Quincy just said we've got audio on YouTube now. So I think we're good to go. Yep, we're good.
All right, I feel like I should repeat it. Can y'all handle it again? All right, so here's the question that I have asked many times. You want to be happy or rich? It is a question, and when I do it in front of new people, I do expect them to think about it. But I don't expect Belle, you to think about it, or Stephanie, or Mimi. It's not optional for you. Happiness is more important than being rich. If I have to sell you, if you're with us, and if I have to sell you on happiness more important than being rich, talk to me individually. If you want to talk to Andy Riddle or Diane Lampy, make sure that you ain't crazy or something. But let's pick. I'm talking a person been with me a couple years, and this year, like last week, they said, I thought about that question and I thought it was rich, and I was like, no, that wasn't. No, it was meant to be teaching, not letting you pick rich or be happy. I was so disappointed in them. No offense if that's you. Start crying and stuff. All right, happy or rich? Happy. Now, after you're happy, wouldn't you want to have a lot of money? No, I'd like to give money away. You got to have it to give away. So once you got it, would you like to give it away? Yes. The answer is yes. Who do you give it to? Gun dealers, car dealers, real estate professionals, churches, charities, universities. You give it. You give it. Well, it's not giving it if you get something back. How the heck it is, too. If you get a good feeling, would you rather have a good feeling or a car? A car gives me a good feeling. All right, so optional. Now, so the first thing was be good, be rich. It's really not a question. It is a question if you've never thought about it. But once you've thought about it, it shouldn't be something you should worry about. You should know. Okay, next. This is the big deal. And this is really for the three ladies right here. Would you rather have balance or fulfillment? Let me make that longer, make it more complicated. Would you rather have personal and professional fulfillment or work-life balance? You with me? Like as in, you want to be fired up and happy and excited, or be balanced? Work a little bit. I mean, you said, what if I could be work-life balance and fulfilled? Okay, cool. What if you have work-life balance and you're not fulfilled? Like your professional life sucks, or your personal life sucks. How about that? What if you're personally and professionally fulfilled? Fulfilled is like happy, right? Happy's like, yeah, like I'll give it all. All right, so I got something else profound right here in case we get bored. And even if I got to decide if I'm even willing to say it on a conference call. I'd be willing to say it if I was in a room with a few people or maybe all leaders. But this is truly deep stuff. It might get us in deep stuff. Okay. Let's start with Belle Krause. Belle, tell us a little high level, married, children, military, education, stuff like that. Just snap.
Born and raised in southeastern Kentucky, joined the Army right out of high school. Did that for 8 years. I was on the bomb squad, met my husband. He served 23 and a half years. He did special operations aviation. We have two amazing children, a 22-year-old autistic daughter and a 25-year-old son. And we are all being fulfilled in work and life, and just pursuing the things that the common man doesn't always think of, thanks to the teachings here at the Alliance.
A lot of people got more questions, but let's go with that. That's a good job. Mimi, boom, yow, same thing. Who you are, education, where you live, stuff like that. Why you got that accent? Okay, Mimi, you're going to need to demute. Unmute, some would call it. We're going to go with Stephanie until you get ready. You take your time. Stephanie?
Okay. Hey, guys. So I'm from New York, but I live in Florida right now. I have 3 kids. Lola is 3 months, and you guys will meet her soon. Mikey's 6. Angelo's 14. I've been here 5 years. We're definitely fulfilled. Very busy lives. There is no balance at all.
I know you were a bodybuilder, weightlifter. That's one thing that you succeeded in. Did you study like being a chef or anything, any kind of education type stuff you did, Stephanie? I know nutrition.
Yeah, I actually have done quite a lot. I got my associates in teaching in Hawaii, and then I got my CNA license, and then my massage therapy and esthetician license, and then I found the Alliance. But I mean, I was telling somebody I've excelled at every one of those things, but those things didn't meet the criteria of fulfilling and pocketbook. So that's why I looked for something else.
Excuse me, Senator Bud is calling. I'll let him chat a minute. Hello, Senator.
What's going on?
I'm doing a Zoom call with about 1,000 people, but since it was you, I decided I'd pick up.
Put on mute, man.
I need
you to address everybody.
I do need you to address everybody at some point. Freedom, baby. I was just preaching freedom, and Senator Bud is the number one freedom guy in America.
Well, God bless you, man.
Hey, listen, can I give you a buzz back like about a little after 11?
Absolutely. 2 things I'm going to leave you with before you hang up. Chess McDowell, you know him. You went to the Don Jr. event.
Fired up to see you ladies next week.
Right.
Good to see you, Belle. It's been a while.
Right. So for anybody on here that does not have their conference tickets yet, you do not want to miss NatCon. So I'm just going to take a second and tell everyone on here, some of you may know, my first NatCon event story. I believe it was Nick Greco said, you have 1 shot to create your origin story here and make it a good one. And I just want to tell people my origin story and let you decide if it's a good one or not. When I started back in 2016, I got licensed in June, and I started 1 day a week, just 1 day a week on Saturdays. I homeschooled my children. I have a special needs daughter that got in-home therapy 5 days a week, and my husband was in Afghanistan. So I didn't have a lot of time in my schedule, but I had the day. So I was working 1 day a week for that 6 months, and NatCon was coming up. And Jake and I had to decide, are we going to go get childcare for, again, it's not easy with special needs children, getting the right childcare for extended time. I was traveling from Washington State to North Carolina, so it actually extended. We had a whole day for travel before the event, a whole day for travel after the event. We decided to go. Now, up until this point, the most I had issue paid in a month was just over $13,000. Again, working 1 day a week, give me a little grace. $13,000 working 1 day a week, and that was the most I'd ever written. When we came back from National Convention 2017, where I got to meet people like Michelle Olivan, I got to meet Andy Albright and Jane Albright. I got to meet these top leaders and producers. I met Diane Lampy for the first time. I tell you, my hands were shaking when I met her for the first time. Wonderful, wonderful woman. And when I came back, I wrote 17,500 in 2 days. 17,500 in 2 days. So I went from doing 13,000 in 1 month to 17,500 in 2 days right after my first convention. So if you are on the fence, it's time to make the leap commit, get your ticket, and show up in Dallas so that you can have your origin story, so that someday you can be here telling others how you took a leap of faith and how it just springboards you to the next level. So that's my NatCon origin story. That's what actually happened. I know there's thousands of other stories out there. I can only tell you what it was like for me. And I can't wait for all y'all listening to tell others what it was like for you. So it looks like Andy's back. I'm going to turn it back over to the boss man.
Hey, thank you, Bill. Good job. If Brian Adams calls me, or Senator Budd, or President Biden, I'm taking a call, because I got something to say to Biden, I got something to say to Budd, and I got something to say to my boss. So you need to have a very limited people that you'll pick up the phone for no matter what. And there's a limited amount of things that I be doing. I won't pick up the phone for them three. There might be one or two people else that I would pick up for, but those three are top. All right, Bud's badass. And it was critical that I talked to him about two things, and he had something critical to tell me. When something got to happen, something got to happen, you know? All right, fulfillment, happiness, convention. Love that, Bell. Mimi. So I heard Stephanie. I'll comment on that, Stephanie. Insane amounts of stuff that you've done. You just didn't get professional and personal fulfillment. The other thing to point out is just there's some intelligence. There's some get shit done mentality when you walked into the alliance. So, Bell, you know, it is interesting when people hire people that they ain't never got nothing done, but they think they'll get something done here because it's so easy.
Simple, not easy.
That's right.
That's why last two conventions I spent so much time talking about quality of people. Guess what we've done? The quality of people walking in this national convention is the best we've ever had. So let's don't let up now. Okay, Mimi, same, high level.
My name is Mimi Omeo. I was born and raised in Haiti. I moved to the U.S. back in 2024 years ago, to be exact. I currently live in California. My education is in biology and psychology. Before the Alliance, I was as a therapist. Bell knows. So I worked for 12 years with kids with autism and the parents and all that. I have two kids, 14-year-old girl and an 8-year-old son that I'm bringing with me to convention. Stephanie, you're not the only one. So, yeah, that's about it, right, Albright?
That is incredible. How long did you practice in that psychiatry world?
12 years.
12 years. How did you do money-wise and personal fulfillment there?
I did great. Like Stephanie said, I loved what I did. I still love those children. I have a passion for them. The problem is that's work balance thing you were talking about. I guess in corporate job, it kind of makes sense. But when you work in what we do, it doesn't. I love what I did, but I made money there, but it wasn't enough. And you feel like you were not appreciated enough. So I get into an accident, then I became a liability. So, okay, goodbye, Mimi, because we don't want another accident to happen to you, and then you sue us or something. You know, people are always thinking the worst of you in those situations. So did I love what I did? Yes, I love what I was doing, but was I feel satisfied? I wasn't.
Mimi, what is the effect of conventions had on you? Do you remember going to your first ones?
Yes, I did. Yes, I do remember. I remember I went to a hotspot prior to the first convention. And then someone at that hotspot said, big things happen at big events. I don't know what it means. I was like, what does that even mean? I don't think I had my ticket at that point. And then when the hotspot finished, I went outside. I asked him that question. I said, what did you mean by that? He's like, well, big decisions going to be made at big events because you're going to see so much. Your mind is going to be open, just be a sponge so you can suck up everything. I was like, oh, Then I was like, okay, then I'm going. So I went, and that was a life-changing event for me. Every time I go to convention, it changes my life, and it pushed me forward to make the next step. Because you see something that you thought you knew you didn't really know, and you hit a new level.
You know what's interesting to me is when a person unsuccessful tells successful people how it's done. I just look around and I go, what is wrong with you? Right? You know, like, how is it possible that you can't put 2 and 2 is together? How come your math is so jacked up? So here's what I suggest y'all do. Get people on conference calls so they hear me say stuff like that. Like, dude, like, this is 3 of the most successful ladies you've ever met in your life. All multi-6 figures. Listen to me. All of them multi-6 figures. And they're kicking ass, taking names. Listen. They'll be at the convention. Hey, we try to bribe people. So, or some people call it incentives. If you've never been to one of our events, you come to this event, we'll give you 75,000 points toward winning all expense paid trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Flight, drinks, food, parties, all included. Come on. Mind blown. So right now, every single person in America is on track to win this event. This Cabo San Lucas. We could put 600 couples, 1,200 people in Cabo San Lucas. Nice. There's no limit. So we've given you the points. Now, if you don't go, the points come away. Now you got to work your butt off to get there. You still get there. Well, you don't understand. I had a birthday party, Andy. Yeah, I understand birthday parties. You understand you can celebrate a birthday party any day you want. You can do it early. You can do it late. Oh, you can do it in Cabo. Well, I already had this plan. Plans change. Priorities change. I ain't going to do it no matter what. No problem. Next. Hear you. No problem. Not be mad. After the event, we'll be right back at you. Stephanie, what is events, our big events like National Convention coming up, meant to you?
For me, it really helped me get out of my shell. Like, when I first came to the Alliance, it was really overwhelming because I had never been part of anything where people were actually like all really happy and excited and nice. Like, at first it was really just like, what do you want from me? Because Big Mike was introducing me to everybody, and everybody just instantly was nice to me and loved me. And, for about an hour, I was really like, what's going on? But, everybody's very consistent. And then, same, like, I got to see, Diane Lampy, Debbie Ben, Belle Krause. Belle Krause was on stage, and I was like, this lady used to defuse bombs, and now she does this. Like, every single one of them, I was like, badass, badass, badass. Crazy story, now badass. And in my mind, I was like, I had a crazy story and I had a crazy past. And if they can make a ton of money and be a badass at the same time, then I can do it. And, I was like, Belle, I was 6 months in the business before my first convention. I had only made like 11 or 12,000 up to that point. I was a very sometimes person. And then my first, that was July of 2019. And then August 2019, I made about 5,700. And that was more money than I ever made in 1 month. And so the convention, to me, it was like camaraderie, friendship. It was a big family reunion. That's what it was too. That was the name of the convention. And it just showed me that like it was okay to not be perfect, because I was like, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but nobody judged me. I was still my quirky self. And, I just felt like I was home. That's where I was like, I can plant my flag here. I need to bust my ass now. I found something. I need to flip that switch again and turn on beast mode and just go all in.
What are you looking to get out of this event? Okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm trying to get as many people as I can there. What do we got? Today's Friday. We got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm going to be trying everything I got to get people all the way up to the 25th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more days. Okay. After that, I'm interested in this new securities deal with Integrity Financial Advisors. Okay. It's Integrity Financial Solutions, by the way. Norris is killing me. Integrity Financial Solutions. Okay. So, these guys are huge help for us. Carriers, I'm going to be shaking hands. There's new reps at every booth. We can't do it without them. My energy level, I'm looking to double my energy level and my input, my commitment. I'm looking to increase my commitment. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm looking around like a linebacker. I'm looking for somebody else that wants to do it, so that I can grab them by the hand, so I can grab them around the neck, and I can walk with them, and we can take them into this professional and personal fulfillment. I'm looking for somebody as much as anything. Belle, what are you looking for? What are you hoping to get out of this big event?
Well, Andy, I'm looking to learn from the top leaders that you have training there on building teams. I know Noelle Evantovich is going to be speaking. Alex Avian is going to be speaking. Of course, you and Jane and Marcus Setta. But Jake and I, we've been here, and we know that we need the skills. We need the lessons that are taught there from the people that are doing it now, for the people that are successful at it now. And so we're looking for that. We're looking to build better relationships with the carriers. We're looking to build better relationships with our team. So, the beauty of the Alliance is that we're nationwide, and the struggle of the Alliance is that we're nationwide. So we can get there and we can break bread and we can hug each other. And y'all know me, if you've been to a conference before, I am going to hug you before I ever shake your hand. That's what I do, because I know that these people are my battle buddies. I got chills just thinking about it right now. These are the people out there alongside me every day on this war on poverty. And I know that if I'm taking enemy fire, I can call them and say, help me. How do I outmaneuver this? How do I overcome this? And there's someone going to be there who's been where I have been, and they're going to tell me how to do it. And there's so many levels to this business. You can't stop growing. You can't stop growing, because as soon as you've overcome one obstacle, buddy, there's another one right around the corner. And I think it was Spencer who said this in a training, and I love it. It's like sometimes when you're in this business, it's like an action movie, and like the train is leaving, and you're running. You have to get on that train, and you're just running as fast as you can, and you can't make it, and you're reaching out, and then all of a sudden there's Andy. He's on the train, and he's reaching out his hands like an action hero, and he's like, take my hand, and you're like, I can almost get there. I'm trying to get there, and then you grasp onto that, right? And they pull you onto the train, and you get to go, right? You get away from where you were, and you get to go toward that next destination. And that's the way I feel about the Alliance. That's the way I feel about people in the Alliance. I can't wait to be among my chosen family, people with vision, people with goals, people with needs that they didn't know they had or didn't know that there was a way to fulfill them and overcome. So I get fired up about every aspect of it, Andy. It's like I hardly ever sleep at these conferences, ever. It's just like there's too much you got to do and experience in the short time that we have to do it. So come early and stay late. Come early and stay late. I'm there for it all.
Something you and Jake were talking to me about one day. I'm going to remind you about it. Think about it. So in this business, it's volunteer. So you were Army volunteer, right?
Yes, sir.
You said I'll join, right?
Yes, sir.
But once you step over that line, nothing's volunteer.
Oh.
Yeah, listen to me, Stephen. And Mimi, this is not my world. This is Bell's world. Once you say I'll volunteer for the Army, and they say, all right, here's what we need for you to do. Crawl down in that hole. Go grab hold of that bomb. Tell your husband goodbye for the next unknown amount of time. It's not volunteer then, because you know what they do? They put you in this thing called the brig. I said, is that jail? They said, no, the brig is not jail. It's where you go when you disobey the Army, and it's not the same thing. So it's not volunteer. But in this business, you volunteer, you get your license, you get qualified, you're dedicated. The upside's crazy, but then it's not, you don't go in a brig. So it adds an element of challenge. So let's say you're a sergeant, colonel, whatever, the big titles. When you say march, they march. Or they go to the brig. Here, you say march, and people get the option of going like, I know I volunteered. I know I said I was with you. And I know I want freedom. And I want to protect the company. But then it's their choice. That's what adds an element. So I'm just saying it had to be different for you guys to kind of still work through, is when people say they're with you, and then when you say charge, they go, I got a birthday coming up. No offense to the birthday people. I mean, just, you could use anything. But if you're in the military and we say charge, you say things like, I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing it for my children so my grandchildren will have freedom. Yeah, and so you don't go to the brig. It's like that. It's like our lead system. You got the carrots and you got the stick. So the stick be the brig. The carrots be, I'm doing it for my children. I get a gold medal, rewards, get promoted. Stick, the brig. Here, it's tough because of I don't say it's tough. It is tougher because you can't threaten the brig. True that, Belle? Does that kind of capsulize it?
So true. So true.
Stephanie, were you wanting to comment on that? You military?
I wanted to comment on it. Angelo's dad is military. So yeah, we lived in Hawaii for a few years on the base, but I feel like with the alliance, it's like once you decide you're in, it's kind of like the military, because once you're in, it's not voluntary. You just are gonna do it. I mean, it really is, because yeah, I could up and leave, but like in my mind, it's not. I'm in, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm supposed to be here at this time. I'm supposed to be here at 0700, like I'm there. And so for me and like Belle and Mimi, I feel like when you decide you're in, it's not voluntary anymore.
I feel like I got a job. I feel like I got responsibility. I feel like I got friends that I don't want. I feel like this: either the convention needs me or I need the convention. There's the two options. Mimi, did you want to tune in on that? I ain't going to hold you off on that.
Well, what I would say, Andy, about it, it is like the military if you want to succeed. If you don't want to succeed, then you can treat it, okay, it's voluntary. Because you already prepared, or you already decided you're going to fail. So you don't have to commit to it. But if you're committed to success, yes, you have to treat it like if you are in the military, or like you said, like a job. But if you don't want to succeed, you're okay with being broken, then go for it.
Integrity Advisory Solutions. I'm gonna get that thing right. I feel the same way, Mimi, and it's finding somebody else that can feel the same way too. To me, it's a job. I got to do a job. It's a duty. What is the word for you? Duty, job, responsibility, hope, belief, friendship, relationship. What word gets you moving? For me, it was freedom. I wanted to be free, and I didn't care. I wasn't scared about the brig. Hey, you know what? A normal life looked like the brig for me. That's the way I saw it. I was like, I ain't about being normal. And I get it, the comfort seekers. I get it, the comfort seekers. We got them. I love them. I ain't against them. It just makes it tougher if you're trying to win a national championship, if you're trying to take over, we're trying to stand out with integrity. We need more example setters. A lot of times we say you need to show them assholes and elbows, meaning from the rear end, when they're looking behind you, they see them elbows and they see your rear end because you're out front, because you're charging, because you're getting after it. And the reason I picked these three is because I see that image when I think about them. They're out front of their team. They're out front. I'm screaming about them to my folks. I'm going, oh, hey, Anthony. Hey, Spencer. Hey, Ada. Hey, Mary. Hey, Charlene. Caroline, look what they're doing. Let's go. So when you start looking at your team, and people say, how do you want me to judge them? Based on selling or recruiting? How about this? Based on commitment. Well, I got sources uncommitted. They're come to everything. They ain't selling or recruiting, but they're the most committed. Where did you get your definition? Where did you get your definition from committed? That's the kind of discriminate. I like discriminatory, but I don't like discriminating like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I believe this person cares because they say they're committed and they come to everything. I discriminate based on statistics, meaning they're selling, they get paid. Not selling, don't get paid. Recruiting, they get overrides. Not recruiting, they don't get overrides. You see what I'm saying? In other words, credit, recognition, all expense paid trip to Alaska on a cruise ship, not based on your height, sex, color, accent, education, lack of education, just based on stats, statistics, math. And I have heard people get mad at me about that. They go, you're all about the graphs. You're all about the statistics. Right? Like, what do you want me to be? What do you want to be judged on? What did a guy, I just heard it I was listening to Biggers, Pastor Biggers. He said, judgment for you, mercy for me. All right. I just want one or two names and give me some attributes. Who do I need to be looking for, Bell? Names, attributes, people I need to be looking for, stats. I will be in Las, where are we going to be? Dallas, Texas, Las Colinas. Who am I looking for?
We have a new emerging hotshot coming out the gate, Katie Lloyd. She's out in Oklahoma. And she got her license and wasn't really moving very much because she had a job. And then she went to work one day and got laid off. And she is like, to heck with that. I've got this other thing in my back pocket. And so we got her up and running. She bought the discounted leads, Andy, on the lead sale, the $1 leads. She bought $161 leads. Went out 2 days later.
160 of the $1 leads.
Yes, 160 of the $1 leads. And she went through and called them, and she booked like 15 appointments through like 40 of those leads. All right. $1, like 3-year-old leads. She was fired up. She's like, I didn't care what they said. I got 160 leads to get to. So if they yelled at me or rude to me, what do I care? I got somebody else to call. So she was fired up. She booked like 15 appointments. She went out and wrote like, I don't know, it was just around $4,000 in that first week off of $1 leads. And she's coming to conference. She's been out to see Diane Lampy a couple times there in Dallas, driving from Oklahoma there to Dallas. And we're fired up for Katie Lloyd. So she's coming out the gate strong. Coachable, teachable, reaching out, very active in the team. And so that's somebody to look out for.
Stephanie, who am I looking for? Statistics wise, where they from? Give me something.
Two people I'm really excited about. Presley, you met him once at the Treasure Island office. He's the one who brought all his Boston buddies from Boston. He said, hey, I just moved to Florida. I'm doing insurance. And he had like 5 of his friends living with him in, a month, not even all licensed. They were just like a bunch of crazy kids who moved across the country and rooming in an Airbnb, figuring it out. And he's already in the month of January put 7 people under him. So his team's growing fast. And then Amanda, she's in Fort Lauderdale down by Olga and Jason. And she just hit the power of 10. She just started full time about 2 months ago. She's got it figured out now. Be, coachable, teachable. Both of them call us all throughout the day in constant communication. It's just building. It's like, it's right there, Andy. Me and Z, we stay up till like 2 a.m. talking about them. We're like so excited because it's bursting right now. It's going to be a good year.
Mimi, give me one. 2 if you want to. I need one. I just need one.
Okay. So I have this one agent in Connecticut. Her name is Jeanette. Funny thing is like what you said, we get everybody, even if they're older, if they have the desire to go, and then you get to be with them and connected with them. So she's older. She's been with me for over a year, but she hasn't been to conference. So this year, I get with her, I get on her, let's go to conference, let's build the business, let's do this. And then she's on. Once she got on, now she's bringing 2 other people with her. Last week only, she had 5 people fast track. And we have her son, who is 32 years old, with an engineer. He's an engineer. We got him, we got his girlfriend. Also, the girlfriend is only 27, self-employed. She's a singer. She's on fire. So I'm very excited about what her team is looking at. She has a lot of people underneath her. But if you judge her, you say, oh, she's older. You didn't get with her. But I didn't. I did what you did, what you always say. Like, yeah, I work with anybody if they have the desire to grow. And that's what she has. And her team is blowing up. I'm very excited for her. She's new, and she's bringing 2 new ladies with her.
All right. Say her name again.
Jeanette.
Okay. And where's she from?
Connecticut.
Okay. All right. East Coast. I like that. Although all the green's on the west, but it's kind of green up in Connecticut. What I understand, let's talk about leads for a minute, and I'm going to come back to convention. From what I understand, people are turning in subscriptions like crazy, and territories are going away, meaning people have already turned in subscriptions. So if there's an area where you can get the $20 leads, $30 leads, $40 leads, $50 leads, I suggest you jump on it and get your subscriptions turned in. They're working hard on the automated site where you'll be able to click on it and see what's available and not available. But subscriptions are available. People that got their subscriptions in before Tuesday, so you'll start getting those leads in about 5 weeks. The sooner you get your subscriptions turned in, the sooner they start mailing. This is massive to understand. The more people you can get on a subscription, that's steady money for them. That's steady override. I don't know why I need to beat that to death. Steady money for them, steady money for you, overrides. Duplicatable. More and more people copy and doing subscriptions, more and more revenue. All right. So let's go back to the event. If you will first, and it's worth some that have said no, Bill, to call them back and say, hey, listen, in all sincerity, I really want, W-A-N-T, I want you to be there. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. What do I got to do to get you there? And if they say there's nothing you can do, okay. If I talk Andy into sending this jet and I put the bill and we put you on the jet with snacks and we pay for your hotel room, pay for your ticket, get you transportation, what else do we need? Babysitting? I'll get to carry you child care. What else do we need? And they go, if you did all that, I'll go. So, all right, which ones do you not have taken care of? So if they say, well, I've got everything except the ticket. So that's the holdup. So what you do is you find out where is the crimp in the hourglass? Where's the crimp in the water hose? Where's the pinch point? What's stopping them? Is it child care, transportation? Is it money? Is it a conflict from a wedding, conflict from a funeral, conflict from a birthday, conflict from a concert, conflict for other cruise they bought? Where's the conflict? And then that can tell us whether we need to fight it or not. Because if it's nothing more than, well, I just need price for a ticket. So, well, how about this? What if the price was you pay over the next 90 days? Would you be interested? What if we could look and show you how to shop for airline tickets and get the price down to under $100? What if we could get you a scholarship for the flight? What if somebody would pay for half your flight? So what you're doing is you're starting out, where's the conflict? First of all, though, what's terrible is if you talk to somebody, let's say Jeanette has 5 people that she's hired, and then you talk to one of the kids and they go, oh, I didn't know it was important. So the first thing is getting people to understand what they ought to be on calls. They should know. I get it, all that. At this point, at this stage in the game, we're going in direct and make phone calls and check and see what's going on. Are you leaning toward going? I'm giving you words that you can use. Are you leaning toward going? How about this? Here, this is good lines. These are lines. These are strategies. These are words. Listen, do you mind if I make a suggestion? Do you mind if I make a suggestion? Would you give me permission to be direct with you? Can I have permission to be direct with you? Do you mind if I pretend like you're my child? Like if you were my son or my daughter and I really cared about you, what would I say to them? Not like I don't know you hardly. You live in a different state. We've not met in person. So if I start screaming at you, that makes no sense because I don't even know you. But do I have permission to treat you like somebody I love, like one of my children or one of my best friends? Do I have, I'd like to request permission. Would you hear me out on my suggestion? Would you just think about this? Just think about this. Pray about this. Pray about this. You move your kid's birthday to a different day. Pray to see how does that sit with your religion? Do you think it'd be worth it? Do you think, how about this? If you're okay with him being direct, what do you think it'll mean for the child if they see you make adjustments to the schedule for freedom? If you give me permission to say this, what if you set that kind of example for your kid that you'll do whatever you got to do for freedom, that you'll do whatever you got to do for the family? What if you started saying, I'm doing this for the children, as opposed to I'm not doing it because of children? Or mom and daddy, I'm doing this for my mom and daddy, versus I can't do it because my mama's sick. My mama's had this situation. I wish you talk about a proud daddy. And it's kind of crazy because I guarantee you, Jared Gonzalez wants credit, and Joe Dukes wants credit, and Leventovich wants credit, and Avian wants credit. But Jake and Beret, Jake was telling me the other day, he said, hey, one kid's in this activity, athletic event, and this one's in this activity, and mom and daddy are in this activity. And people are taking care of this kid, and people are taking care of them. They're admin. Mom and daddy's babysitter, kids babysitter, mom and daddy's handler, kids handler. If you're a kid and you learn this type of leadership, this type of responsibility, as opposed to a kid who hasn't seen that example. I don't know. I like military kids because they've seen what their parents do. Now, wait a minute. Not bitter kids. My daddy's a military. Or my dad I learned responsibility. Can you play on that bell a little bit? Because you understand what I'm saying. There's a different reaction to having a military parent that some have.
Absolutely, Andy. When you talk about just celebrating on a different day, that was the norm for our family. My husband would leave for a year at a time, an entire year. So it's not like, like it mattered what day it was. We would always edify what we were going to do. It didn't matter what day we did it on. And we learned to celebrate independently of each other. There were times, again, if Jake was gone for a year, we're not going to not do Christmas. We're not going to not do a birthday, right? We're still going to do it, but we're going to edify him even though he's not there. We're going to talk about, wow, it's amazing that Dad is out there defending our country and how proud we are of him. And we're going to send him pictures of what we're doing. We're going to let him know how proud we are of his sacrifices, that he can't be here in the comfort of this celebration because he's out there in the trenches. And my children learn to respect the vision and the overall bigger picture of what life was in those moments, not to be sad about the fact that he couldn't always be there. Now, make no mistake about it, we planned large celebrations for when he got home. We planned those when he got home. We didn't give up what we were doing right then, but we planned additional celebrations that he could be a part of for when it fit the schedule, because we had no choice. We couldn't tell Uncle Sam this year doesn't work for us. Wait a minute, my children are going through puberty. I'd like a little teamwork here and not have to do it by myself. We didn't get that option. We were both on the battlefield. He was on his. He could shoot his enemies. I was on mine. I had to learn how to make peace with them. So we both have our battle stories, but we came together with respect and honor for the fight each person was in. So when you maneuver around, dates are just dates. It's the feeling that family has for each other and the respect that they have for the family vision. This is how our family moves forward. Our family respects this country. Our family fights for people who can't fight for themselves. Our family takes care of the people in our community. That's what our family does. And if we have to shift the celebration around in order to live out the commitment that is a life purpose, then we're shifting a party around. It's just a party. We're going to have more. If the Alliance has taught us anything, we know how to have fun. And so we're going to have some fun, and we're going to make sure it works, and we're going to make sure each person in our family is honored and respected and have fun in their way on a time that's appropriate for the schedule. But they don't get to dictate the schedule. The vision, the purpose, that dictates the schedule. I don't know if that's what you wanted, Andy, but that's what you got.
I'm very thankful that when I was working my butt off traveling, Jane did that for the kids too. And I reap the rewards of that now that they didn't get bitter. 2, they watched and learned. 3, they're duplicating. They get stuff done, regardless of the time of day, of the date on which it occurs. I'm proud of them for that. Stephanie, I think about that discipline involved for the, 1% fat or whatever, when you do that weight, that bodybuilding, weightlifting stuff. Think about the discipline there. Wouldn't it be cool as you see your kids see the discipline? Applying the discipline, athletes, I got D1 athletes. I always say, if you could use the discipline you applied in athletics, D1 athletics, or for what you did, Stephanie, applying that discipline here. Can you give us some glimpse into that?
Into the discipline, or like high level, what it really was like?
What it was really like?
So what it's really like is you don't wake up late. You got a set time, where you have your workouts. I was fortunate to have a trainer and a team. So I was on a team with 11 other girls. You know how fun that can be with 12 girls who are like, crazy. So so I had the opposite meal plan because my metabolism is too high. So it was tough for them. They were on 1,000-calorie diets. I was on 5,000-calorie diet. So every weekend was spent meal prepping my 7 meals throughout the day for Monday through Friday. And then, you hit your workout. I would go to my noon workout, and then I would go to a 7 p.m. workout. And I did that 5 days a week, and I didn't miss one. Sometimes I went on the weekend because I just wanted to go try out some new routines. It's, once you start doing it, it's hard when you start. The discipline is tough. But after about a week of doing that routine and creating that habit, it's like, if you're anything like goal driven or you want something, you just do it. It's literally just flipping the switch and deciding you're going to do it. There was no, I got cramps today, I can't work out. You was in the gym with all them other BITCHESs, and they can't eat carbs, and I'm happy as hell because I eat all kinds of carbs every day, but they couldn't eat carbs for 3 straight days, and you knew it. But it's like you don't give up because you're tired. You don't stay home because your son's got the sniffles. You decide you're gonna do this competition and you're gonna look the best walking across that stage, and pray you don't kill yourself walking in those heels, because that would be embarrassing. It's all hell. But it's like, I wanted more than anything to have the best results. So I squat the heaviest. I pushed myself the most. I did that extra rep, because I was gonna beat everybody. So that's just, when you got discipline and you want something, you can get anything done that you want to get done. If you have a goal plan and you got a vision of what you want, it doesn't matter what it is. You can do it. It's just people give up because it's hard work. It's harder work than they anticipated. So they give themselves grace to be lazy. And then they don't do it. And then it's like, maybe next year. So
Judgment for you, grace for me. Hey guys, listen. Mimi, I love you, girl. Can't wait to see you.
Same here.
California's green.
Yes, it is.
Seattle, Washington's green. The West Coast. Stephanie, we got some green and white in Florida, but it's mostly, there we go. Opportunity nationwide. Y'all are the three. Green is good. I love you, Belle. You something else. Stephanie, proud of y'all. Jane Albright's got a talk that's gonna mess y'all up. I'm gonna let y'all know. I can't give any hints. I'm very, very strict guidelines. She's gonna be great. Mark Asada, he's been doing calls for everybody, trying to get one more person there. Avian, he's on fire coming in. Jeff Bright, he's got his talk. He's beside himself. But Jeff Bright, this is going to be the best. This is going to be the best. Write this down. Albright said this is going to be the best event we've had. This is our national convention, 2024, celebrating 2023. The leaders, trophies, cowboy style, Friday night, Western wear. Y'all see my boots, hats, jackets. Friday night, red carpet. One more person. We got 5-6 days. Let's make it happen. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all killed it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Record.